Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast Network. Our purpose and passion are simple: to highlight the incredible nonprofits that make our communities stronger. Each episode is a chance for these organizations to tell their story in their words, sharing not just what they do, but why it matters to the people they serve, to their supporters, and to all of us who believe in the power of community. Through podcasting, we hope to amplify their voices, inspire connection, and give them one more tool to impact the hearts of donors, partners, and neighbors alike. Our work is made possible through the generous support of our partners. Cap Trust, offering fiduciary advice for endowments and foundations. Western Health Advantage, a local not-for-profit health plan that believes healthcare is more than coverage. It's about caring. CORE, executive leadership and comprehensive support services. They work in it so you can work on it. And Five Star Bank, a local trusted advisor to community nonprofits for over 25 years. Our episode sponsor is Sacramento Venture Philanthropy, a community of generosity combining people, expertise, and capital for good. There are some nonprofit organizations that begin with an idea, and others that begin with a lived experience that simply won't let go. Zion Girls is one of those organizations. My guest, founder Dawn Adams, knows firsthand what it means to grow up with an incarcerated parent. Her father went to prison when she was just 12 years old, leaving her to navigate the shame, isolation, uncertainty, and responsibilities that came with it largely on her own. Years later, when Dawn began recognizing those same experiences in young girls around her, she decided they shouldn't have to navigate them alone. Zion Girls now creates a place specifically for girls aged 10 to 17 impacted by parental incarceration, a community where they can talk openly, be mentored, build confidence, improve academically, dream about college and careers, and perhaps most importantly, understand that the circumstances of their family do not have to determine their future. In our conversation, Dawn shares the remarkable early impact Zion Girls is already having, the pillars of progress guiding the program, and some incredibly powerful stories from girls who are beginning to see an entirely different future for themselves. This is a very special conversation about breaking generational cycles, the importance of simply being seen and heard, and what can happen when one person turns her own experience into opportunity for someone else. Dawn Adams, welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast Network.
Thank you for having me.
So over 2 years ago, I think it was, I heard about this organization that you were putting together called Zion Girls.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, what's this all about? And I remember you saying that, I'm going to be on your podcast. I'm going to be on your podcast. And I said, well, you got to be at least 2 years old. And here you are, a little over 2 years old.
Okay.
And you've had the privilege and benefit to be one of the fast pitch make it to the stage presenters,
I was.
which was amazing. And that was almost 2 years ago.
Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, because I remember I had the good fortune of being a judge
Yay.
that year.
Yes.
And it was incredible.
It was incredible. I'm still living in that moment.
Isn't it great?
It's great.
And what SVP does for so many of the nonprofits in that exercise, even if you don't make it to the stage, the benefit that you get of going through the process and the presentation and the coaching and the prep, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of tools and got a lot of support from the staff and other coaches, and I carried that with me now.
And what a great way for a young organization to get it that early on, because some people may go 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years and really not get that story as well honed or have the coaching or the benefit of access to resources. And with Fast Pitch, it's there for you.
Yeah.
I'm in a professional, big city way.
In an overwhelming way.
Yes.
Yes.
For everybody, regardless of where you are, it is truly that.
Well, my goal was to make it to the stage. Yeah.
And again, think about this. You had organizations in there that were mature organizations, 10, 20, 30 years in the community.
Yeah.
And
Here I
Here's
am.
little Zion girls coming up and,
Yeah.
and making it.
Yeah.
Let's get into this conversation. As many founders of businesses, nonprofit or not, their passion often comes from experience, and it's something in that experience that triggers the desire to create something different and something that services whatever it is that experience was about. And sometimes it's because a product or somebody's service didn't do what it was supposed to do, and you say, "I'm going to do this better." Um, or you're creating a need for something that doesn't exist that you see is there. And the point is that whatever that discovery of the need is, somebody took action.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
Yeah.
You had an experience that you've lived with
Mhm.
all your life.
All my life.
And it took until now, a couple years ago, but that wasn't the genesis of it, to actually bring it to fruition.
Right.
And I'd like you to share that, with us, what it was.
Yeah. So I was very young. I want to say 12 years old. And my dad was arrested and never came home. The interesting thing about that is he had been in and out of jail so much that I was used to it. It had become my normal until he didn't come home. And then I realized, oh, he must have did something really bad. And I went on for years um, not knowing how it had really affected me until I started losing friends or I was isolated from different events. Um, I did not have that community to just express feelings or what I was going through. I've yet to have a father-daughter dance, you know, and so it carries a lot of weight, a lot of shame, and a lot of embarrassment. And I did not. I just went on with life, and this was just life until my daughters were in high school, and I began to watch their friends.
And you say daughters, how many?
2 daughters.
Okay.
2 daughters, 27 and 30. And but I began to see their friends in high school react like I did when I was their age. And so then I became the nosy mother and poking around enough to find out mom is in jail or dad is in jail. Both of them are in jail. And they were either in foster care or with guardianship of another family member, or they were bed surfing so that they would not have to go into the system. And I had bought into enough lies growing up that I did not want to see them fall into that ditch as well. And so, enough of the emotions of watching this that I said, okay, something has to be done. How do I do it? Where do I start? I don't know what I'm doing, but I know they need help. And so even years after that, Zion Girls was still, nagging at me, so to speak, to start. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do this. Both feet jump off the ledge and yeah.
And so you start the organization with the expectation of serving who?
Daughters with incarcerated parents.
So father or mother?
Father or mother
both, unfortunately.
or both.
Yep.
We have girls that are generational, meaning they have more than one family member in prison. It could be another sibling. It could be parent or both parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts. And they're affected more than we realize because they don't have anybody to share this with. My brother and I grew up in the same house, but we never talk about it. And his experience, we're 9 years apart, but his experience was very different from my experience. And we just don't talk about it, Yeah.
And you basically both grew up without a father.
We grew up without a father.
Your mother had all that responsibility.
All the responsibility.
And surely both of you at some point, because
well, I was
kids.
Yeah. And so my mother was focused on making sure my dad was safe. Even in prison, he was safe, and stayed out of trouble and had everything he needed. And so instantly I became the other parent, 12, 14 years old, and I'm preparing the meals. I'm getting us to and from school. And you lose that childhood. You lose being able to just be a kid,
Hmm.
because you have responsibilities that are very adult responsibilities.
And in looking at your daughter's friends
Yeah,
now in school,
same
who,
thing. Same thing.
so tell us a little bit what that looks like today for those girls.
Thankfully, they latched on to me, and I want to say it was because I was available and just listened to them and had something to share with them, even if it was just a hug or a word of encouragement. You can do this. You can go to college. You don't always have to be in survival mode. I bought into the lies that the only way I would get out is on my back. Um, that's not true.
Hmm.
And so I wanted to make sure that these girls didn't fall into that lie. And but now they're thriving and doing well, college graduates, married, children, a normal life. But they needed somebody to talk them through that pain, separation,
Hmm.
the anxiety, the not knowing what's going to happen. And so it's a good thing.
So now they have Zion Girls as a structured
Hmm.
program as opposed to, just second mom Dawn,
Yeah.
who is helping because they're friends of your daughters and you want to do what you can
Hmm.
to facilitate whatever it is for them. What does Zion Girls look like? How is it structured? You mentioned the pillars. Let's talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
So we have, and a friend of mine shared that with me in a business model, the pillars of progress. And if we look at the pillars, anybody could grab the pillars and apply it to their life. But I had to um, apply the pillars to that lifestyle of being a child with incarcerated parents. And so I say now impacted by parental incarceration because some of the parents have come home, but there is still that time of impact. And so we serve current and past incarceration. What pillars look like, we start with, so each letter of progress is the acronym or is a word. And so each month we focus solely on that word. And so when we start the program in October, we'll start with persevere. And so all of the lessons are on Persevere, all of the assignments, all of the journaling prompts, everything is on Persevere.
Hmm.
And I don't want to say drill it into them, but we drill it into them. And
Sure.
so they know that now I can persevere. I know what it takes to persevere. I know what it looks like. I know what it means. I can teach others how to persevere. And then the next month we go with R, and that's reach higher. And so reach higher was really interesting because that gave them an insight into I can go to college. I can be a business owner. I can change the world if I persevere and then I'm reaching higher. And then we go with overcome challenges. And so it goes on. And the very last S is strive for success. And so what does that mean? That means that you keep doing everything that you did to get to to
Hmm.
success. And so I gave the girls an assignment to find 3 universities that you want to go to. We're housed at Sac State, which is wonderful. And so many of them had never been on campus. And so they're just wowed by all this stuff that you can now do on
So this is their
campus.
first experience seeing what it would
Yes.
be like going to
Yes. They were
university.
amazed by a 3-story library, right? And so now it's like, oh, I can do this. And so the assignment was find the school that your passion school that you really want to go to, get the school that you know you can get into, and then let's look at one that's far reached. What does it take to get into all of those? And then what are you doing to get there? And so they're working on those assignments throughout the entire process. They're writing letters to the universities to say, okay, I'm in 8th grade. I want to come to your school and study X, Y, and Z. And what do I need to do? How are my grades now going to affect a yes or no from you? And so they're reaching out to the schools. They're learning what to do, what not to do, um, extra assignments in the place that they're in now. And so the pillars are working.
Let me ask you about the the girls themselves. How do they find out about you, or how do you find them? How do they get into the organization?
Yeah, so initially, our two primary partners were Project Rebound, which is a reentry program. And so
And that's Essex State, right?
that's Essex State.
Yes.
And so our information was being taken into the prisons so that those parents can then enroll their children,
Oh,
daughters.
wonderful.
The bad thing about that is once you're in prison, you no longer have custody.
Mm.
But now we have the information, and so we do some reaching out. Our biggest support and partner is Prison Fellowship, and they work on the outside of the prisons with the families. And so they have a database of girls that are involved in their programs. And so when they started, they initially wanted to just provide Christmas for on behalf of the inmates for the children, hoping that it would manifest into a mentoring program. They struggle in that area because nobody wants to do a year-round mentoring program. Well, we're a mentoring program.
You are the program, right?
And so that was an easy fix. And so I get a huge database actually from them. My most recent database in Sacramento County, girls 10 to 17, just under 300 girls. And you say, wow,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. And that's if they're involved in their programs. And so then you have to think about all the other girls that are not. So we're looking at probably a good 1,000 girls in Sacramento County impacted by parental incarceration.
What's the capacity that you can handle in any given?
How
long do you last? How long is the program that they go through?
So the pillars are 8 sessions, but we do a 10-month program because we need a break, right?
Sure, yes.
And we need to refuel so that we can be ready for the next class. And so we say once a Zion girl, always a Zion girl. So you don't age out, or you don't get to the point where you don't need us anymore. Because what I'm finding is adults need this as well. I get that a lot. Well, that's wonderful for the kids. What about me?
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s and I'm still impacted. And so we're looking to see how we can help them as well.
What's the age range of girls?
10 to 17.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we have, those older 18 to 25 that say, I need help too. And so we're looking to expand to include them in some type of a way. But I think it's going to be a struggle because now they're considered women.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, they're considered.
They're emancipated youth, especially if they're in the foster care system.
Exactly.
They're out at 18.
And so we're, I don't want to throw anybody away or let anybody slip through the cracks. And so, next time I come back, I'll have an answer.
Well, that's going to be the next question. Who do you collaborate with? Who do you find works with you in this? I mean, you mentioned, the prison system and the Sac State program.
Yeah. So right now we're building relationships with the county probation office, the county child protective services office, school districts, because they all know the kids but don't have any place to send them or any place to, refer them to. Sadly, we're the only ones in the state of California
doing what you're doing.
Doing what we do. Yeah. And so when we tell people about it, it's unheard of because they hadn't heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, nope, we're here. And we've also gotten we're out of Sacramento County, we're down in Southern Cal, or we're in the Bay Area. Is there a virtual option? So, something else to put on the plate. How do we fit in a virtual option for those girls that are, outside?
Not resident.
Yeah.
How often do you interact with them?
So this past year is our inaugural year, and we did one Saturday a month, and the girls asked for more time.
Sure.
And I was I was thrilled. Um, I was humbled that they wanted to do more time. So coming for the next year, when we start in October, we'll do 2 Saturdays, and we'll add in a weeknight where it'll be virtual.
And then are they connected throughout the week?
They're connected with me throughout the week
Okay.
by their choice.
Okay.
So they reach out to me during the week just to talk.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was a how do you say, just off the cuff. They started calling me.
Okay. I can see it because you're
Yeah,
the experienced.
yeah, and so they just want somebody to talk to, and somebody to listen to them, and somebody to see them, and encourage them. They want somebody to tell about their day.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Dawn, remember that test I had? I did really good. I messed up on that answer, but I did the rest. They just want somebody to talk to.
Yeah. And somebody who
Yeah.
hears them, who
Yeah.
actually listens to them,
Absolutely.
which I'm sure is a big, big, big part of the program.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, how many do you have in a cohort?
So the numbers fluctuate, which is really interesting
Well, I
because
imagine you might have some who drop out, huh?
so we started out with 4. And to me that was I wanted to have 100, but we started out with 4. We graduated to 7, and then we went to 11, and then we dropped back down to 4. And then we finished back at the 7.
Okay.
So that
So
was
is it? Do you graduate? I'm putting this in air quotes for those who aren't seeing. Is it a graduation of sorts once they've gone through the program, and then you just keep track of where they're going and what they do?
So our program escalates every year.
Oh, okay.
So the ones that was in the program this past year, they'll start over with the pillars, but it'll be more intense.
Oh, so let's say a 10-year-old or 11-year-old can go then as a 12-year-old into
Right.
the program. So it'll continue. It'll compound itself, basically.
Yes. And so my hope and dream is that once they go to college, they'll come back and be mentors.
Yeah.
Because they've been there.
Not totally dissimilar from IYT.
Right.
Future Tomorrow, what they're doing with men.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, he and we spoke, and he says, I'm glad you're doing this because I do the boys. I have no place for girls.
Right.
So, yeah.
In terms of some of the other organizations, with your programs, are there opportunities that complementary programs could fit? Because you're going to be limited by sheer resources, number one, but people, number two.
We have a lot of people that want to be involved out of lived experience. I get a lot of thank yous for doing this. Thank you for sharing my story. And I said, oh, I didn't know I was sharing your story. But so we get a lot of support that way. A lot of those that say, how can I help? And I've been asked, if my child is not impacted by incarceration, can she still be a part? And I said, but the conversation changes because these girls are very comfortable talking about their situation because they know everybody is in the same situation. I don't know that I want to bring in somebody that doesn't have an incarcerated parent because the conversation changes. They can't begin to understand what these girls are going through. It was brought to my attention by my best friend of almost 50 years that she never knew my dad was incarcerated until his funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, and so she wants to come up from Southern Cal to talk about that friendship that you can have and that you can trust. And so we'll see how we, integrate that lesson.
We'll be right back with Dawn Adams, founder of Zion Girls, right after a few words from the people who help make this program possible.
I'm James Beckwith, President and CEO of 5-Star Bank. We're dedicated to supporting nonprofit organizations who advocate for the strength, resilience, and vitality of those they serve. When nonprofit organizations thrive, our community does too. By supporting the Nonprofit Podcast Network, 5-Star Bank is amplifying the voices and meaningful impact of our nonprofit community. We're 5-Star Bank, a trusted nonprofit partner. How can we help you?
We are really excited to be part of the family and contribute to the work that you all are doing. CORE provides fractional and interim executive services, along with comprehensive back office solutions that go into our client sites and do the work to give them the capacity they need in order to move through transitions, whether that's planned or unplanned. Or companies also work with our accounting and finance, back office solutions, human resources, technology, and administration. The reason why our back office solutions add value is because we save them time and money, anywhere from 20 to 30% of what they would spend on that back office solution. We work in it so they can actually work on it. CXORE.com and contact me directly at DTEAT@CXORE.com.
If you're interested in learning more about how CORE may help your organization, visit CXORE.com.
Hello, this is Scott Thomas with Cap Trust in our Sacramento office. I specialize in working with local nonprofits and associations. Annually, we survey private and public nonprofit organizations across the country to better understand challenges they see in today's environment. In our more recent survey, we heard concerns about proper board governance, mission-aligned investment, and how to implement alternative investments. If you would like a copy of the survey or to discuss your organization, look me up, Scott Thomas at captrust.com.
I'm thrilled to have Western Health Advantage partnering with us as they do so much to support so many nonprofit agencies in our community. As a truly local health plan, you'll find individual and family options, employer options, plans for CalPERS and Medicare Advantage. From medical services to pharmacy, health and wellness support, as well as behavioral health care, Western Health Advantage has a plan that fits what you need. As an employer, for profit or nonprofit business, individual or family, you can find more at westernhealth.com.
Hi, I'm Brad Squires, CEO of Sacramento Venture Philanthropy. For more than a decade, SVP has brought together local donors, business leaders, and nonprofit changemakers to do philanthropy differently. Through pooled funding, hands-on mentorship, and programs like Fast Pitch and 100X, SVP helps nonprofits build real, long-term capacity, not just short-term solutions. If you're looking to go beyond writing the check and want to use your experience, your voice, your leadership to create a lasting impact and have a lot of fun doing it, now is the time to join SVP. Learn more about becoming a partner at svpsacramento.org.
In terms of funding, and I know you've been successful with some of the organizations in town, Safe Credit Union for one, I remember seeing
Yes.
that was a lot of noise made on that, which was
Yes.
nice. But what are you doing for funding? How are you funding the organization?
Private donations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Private donations. Because we serve a population that most people overlook because, again, it's not talked about. And these girls are not bad kids. They're just overlooked. And so they still need guidance. They still need help. They still need the resources. And so people are stepping in and saying, here's in kind, or here's a financial donation. How can I help? Can I provide lunch? Can I provide breakfast? And so that's where it's coming from.
What's your outreach look like? What's Dawn doing? I mean, I can only imagine.
We do a lot of social media. We work the database from Prison Fellowship, but that's word of mouth, networking, people that are familiar with Fast Pitch, networking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the girls, because they're younger, are
Yes.
fairly social
Yes.
with.
We had one of our 8th graders. She went from D's and F's to A's and B's, and she was awarded the opportunity to give her 8th grade promotion speech. And she thanked Zion Girls for helping her to be more confident in speaking, and her grades came up. And so she's proud to be a Zion Girl. Yeah.
Well, when I look at the website, I see all the girls are wearing,
Yes.
their shirts and,
Yes.
I am a Zion girl. So
Yes.
you're creating this community.
They came up with that.
Really?
And yes, because we had a conversation about traveling. And they said, wouldn't it be cool if we had the same outfit and we're walking through the airport and everybody wants to know, who are those girls? They must be special. Where are they going? We want to get to know them. And so that was all their idea.
Yeah.
And they love it. Yeah.
Is that a sports team? What do you guys
Right,
play?
right. And then to find out that these brilliant faces are children with incarcerated parents.
If you were to get an interested party that says, Dawn, this is a neat organization. Conceptually, it's great. You're young, you're small. We want to grow it. Here's a blank check. What would it look like?
Our own building.
And?
Scholarships for college. Yeah. Scholarships. I want to see, I'm just now going to college myself. And so I want them all to have that opportunity. I don't want them to be held back by, I don't know where the money's coming from. I don't want them to have to depend on grants or loans that they have to pay back. I want to be able to, I want Oprah to write a check.
There you go. You send this episode to her when we're done.
Yes. But I want our own building because right now we're using space at Sac State. So we have to put everything up every, meeting and take it back down. Put it up, take it back down. So it doesn't look like us. It doesn't feel like us.
Temporary.
It's right.
Yeah.
And so I want our own building. Yeah. I want them to have a place that they said that's our home.
What does the staff look like? And I know that it's all volunteer.
All volunteer.
But what do they look like? Who's got responsibilities for what?
So we have a board of 11. They're very active. Some of my board members have been behind bars. Some of them are professional fundraisers. Some of them are counselors. We have a wonderful advisory council, and everybody's involved. We get the best mentors, tutors, and they're all from higher ed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
my youngest daughter serves as, she started out as a mentor. They love her because she's their size and she has fun hair like them.
That's Leah?
No, that's Sydney.
Sydney.
Sydney is my daughter.
Okay.
And so she started out as a mentor and now she's on the board. And she's great with them. And while I talk to them from an adult perspective, and she's an adult, but she can also talk to them as a teenager. And now the fact that she's a professor, they're like, ooh, you're still young. I want to be like you.
Well, they also get to see and experience somebody who was like them.
Yeah.
Who has a professional job.
Yeah.
Who was able to succeed, who's gotten their education.
Right.
And it makes it attainable to them.
Yes.
I can do this too.
I can do this too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she challenges them. Sydney challenges them. Dr. Leah Hawkins challenges them. She's our program director.
That's where I got Leah
yes.
from. My apologies. And because I should know Sydney Adams is obviously your daughter.
Yes. But Leah serves on our board as well. And in that capacity, she oversees the program. And so she makes sure that everything is in place, make sure everything makes sense, make sure that my vision comes to fruition. And she does a great job. We have our treasurer is also a retired probation officer from the juvenile side. So he got to see a lot go on with the kids there and is able to point us in the right direction for that. We have those in higher education that's on the board and serve in some capacity. So we have a good, strong team.
So everybody's having to show up on a Saturday.
Everybody.
2 Saturdays now.
Yeah.
To support the girls.
Yeah.
Today, as you look at the organization, what is the greatest need?
Exposure, knowledge, I could always say money.
Right.
But for me personally, I would say exposure.
Just people knowing you exist, that
And
there's a
know it,
program
that,
out there
yeah,
for these
yeah,
girls
yeah.
who are in this situation.
It's, we've been using social media and we've gone through a year. And so now we're getting more people say, oh, you survived a year. It must be really good. So
Yeah.
now we'll come now.
Yeah, really good's
Yeah,
relative too. It's
right,
like, no, you have no idea how much work it takes to get to
right.
this first year.
Yeah. And so I'm always asked, when do you sleep?
We're going to get to this question at some
Yes,
point a little
yes.
bit later. When you mentioned one of the girls who really saw a change in her, her 8th grade grades and everything. How are you gauging your impact? You're young, so you have the ability to set up that structure of what impact is going to look like, and you're starting from zero. So you can say, okay, we started here. This is what we got. As you continue to progress, you can always reference back. What does it look like? What are the important elements, not only for you, but for others who are looking to donate to the organization to say, how is it doing? How do they
Right.
know it's doing well?
We look at, of course, grades. Where were you with, when you started? Where are you now?
Mhm.
What do you need help with? And because of the pillars, the girls are more apt to ask for help. They want to succeed. They have the confidence that I can succeed. Even if I don't get it at home, I know I can come Saturday and Miss Dawn is there, Sydney's there, Dr. Lee is there, and I can get that help. And so we measured that way. And then we measured consistent participation.
Mhm.
The girl may not be progressing in her grades, but her consistent participation that says, I need help, I want help, I'm here to get help. Let's start with the mental. And
Right. Let's just get
yeah,
my mindset right.
right. And so we've had that where we've had, parents that says, I just don't know what to do with her, but she's happy here. She looks forward to coming here. And so I'm going to keep bringing her. And eventually the change happens at home. Yeah.
And you're going to get to see them from whatever grade level that is that they
Yeah.
start, because they're going to
Yeah,
progress through
fifth
the
grade
program.
too. Yeah.
Is 5th grade? That's the
Yeah.
10-year-old. Okay, so 5th all the way up to high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's, and initially we started at 14 because that is high school. But then the 14-year-old says, I have a younger sister and I can't leave her behind. And so that's why we dropped the age
Oh,
to
sure.
10. Yeah. Yeah.
So over time, what's going to, depending on how they graduate out and what years they come in, but just on the assumption somebody comes in at 14 years old to 17, so that 4
Right.
years of college or high school, they're with you all 4 years, but you're still adding girls at the very beginning. So this is your first year. Now you're into the second year, and that group is moving up a year in terms of their scholastic and or
Right.
age, but you're bringing in a new group.
Right.
At some point, you need a lot more people.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't continue
We're
to serve
always
the girls.
looking
Otherwise, you're just going to
for,
have a static
yeah.
group that moves through.
We're always looking for mentors. We're always looking for speakers that will come in and teach, on a specific subject or topic. We have a great partnership with Safe Credit Union, and they come in and teach the girls how to manage money.
Sure.
When I was young, my thought was, oh, you have a credit card, you just swipe.
Right.
I didn't know anything about paying the bill. I just swiped.
Right. As so many kids do.
And so many, yes. But now these kids are learning how to save and how to spend wisely, how to build credit, even this young, because it affects you in the long run. It's easier to establish bad credit, but then you got to fix the bad credit.
Right.
And so that's hard. And so that relationship with Safe is great, and that they come in and teach the money side. But yeah, one of our girls surprised me, and their assignment was to draw what you want to be. It's easy to write it, but to draw what you want to be, it takes some effort and some thought. And so she was able to draw a gavel. And I said, oh, tell me about this. She says, I want to be a judge. And I said, okay. I said, why? And she's 13. And she says, a judge can hit the gavel, and separate a family, and they can hit the same time and put the family back together.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I want that kind of power. And I said, okay. And so I jumped on my phone. I texted somebody that I knew that worked in the criminal justice industry. And I said, I need a female judge that will be a mentor to this young lady, and this is why. And within a week, I have a judge, and she'll start mentoring that young lady in the fall.
And won't that be great 10 years from now
Yes.
to see her practicing for her
Yes.
law degree and
Yes.
taking the state bar and,
Yes.
and all the things that are necessary?
And not only that, but to see the other side of law.
Yes.
Because you hit the gavel and you separated my parents from me, but you're not a bad person after all, you know? And so we want that friendship as well, so they can see judges aren't all that bad, or,
Right.
you know, those in law enforcement aren't that bad. They do have my best interests at heart. And so those are relationships that we look to build.
Hey, do you have another success story from the group that you've seen so far go through? You had the eighth grader. Another story for somebody that this girl started like this, and here's where she is now, and this is what we've seen, or
So there's another, I don't know, she's 14, failing in school,
Mm.
running away from home. And so she started coming to Zion Girls. And now she's home stable. She's rebuilding that relationship with mom. She brought her grades up. And that's good. You know, she's not running away anymore. She's focused on school. She wants to be somebody. She wants to be able to come to me and say, hey, look what I did. And so, yeah, I've become that other mother. But she's doing good. And she's excited about telling me I'm doing good. Yeah. And she's putting her pillars into practice.
and how about mom?
Mom is grateful. Mom is thankful. Mom is supportive of, if she has to be with you, I'll let her be with, you know. And so that's encouraging. Mom was hesitant because this is having to say that you have a parent that's incarcerated. It's very private. But once she heard my story and saw my courage to share, I think that helped mom. And certainly the daughter was like, oh, your dad was in prison too? Oh, let me tell you about my dad in prison. So,
Right.
yeah. And so we get these stories. We don't focus on the parent that's in prison because it's all about the girls. I want to see them succeed. I said, I want to go to everybody's graduation. Of middle school, high school, I want to go to all the graduations. I want to bring all the balloons. I want to bring the big poster with your face on it to show everybody. Yeah, I want to be there to celebrate you.
I love that. That's awesome, especially from both parents' side.
Hmm.
You know,
I had a dad show up, which was, surprising.
meaning the mom was incarcerated?
The mom was incarcerated, and the dad had just been paroled, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Right? And the dad showed up, and he says, I've been hearing about this program, and I wanted to say thank you. We don't live in the best of neighborhoods. She could easily fall through the cracks and become that person, but I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I can't come in because he had his ankle bracelet on and all this, but he just came to say thank you. Yeah.
That's rewarding.
Yes.
And to his point too, I mean, we hear it often with the boys,
Hmm.
the gangs and all that, and that goes one direction. But for the girls, it's a whole different direction. And in some cases, not local. They get trafficked.
Right.
They get kidnapped.
Right.
They're taken completely away,
Right.
and in some cases, lost forever.
Right.
And that's a tragedy when there is an opportunity, and there are programs, for support.
Yeah.
But because of what you're doing, again, that recognition of a parent that's incarcerated changes the dynamic so much more for that child.
Yes.
I mean, everything, as you said.
Yeah. I had a one of the other girls, she asked me if she was next. And I said, next for what? And she said, next to go to prison. And she says, my mom is in jail. My dad is in prison. My brother just went to prison.
Mhm.
Am I next? I said, absolutely not on my watch. I said, here's my personal cell. If you feel like you are not safe, you call me.
Yeah, if something's going wrong,
Something's going,
reach
yeah.
out.
If you need to talk, if you, whatever, you call me. I
Wow.
don't know what I would do, but you call me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm going to slow it down,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You're right. Yeah.
Just get in the way of whatever that
Just-
thought process
yes.
is or that
Yes.
action is going to be.
Yes.
Sure.
And for her to be, 12 years old, and that's her, am I next? Because that was her norm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that gets back to the generational piece of it all.
Right.
If they see it and it's repetitive and just keeps happening, and
Right.
it's so difficult to break it. It is so difficult, especially with all of a sudden, then you only have one parent.
Yeah.
And then maybe you have no parent
Yeah.
because they're both incarcerated.
Yeah.
And now you're bouncing through the foster system,
Yes.
which,
Yeah.
or with relatives who have been
Right.
in similar situations that
Right.
they just don't know.
Yeah. And the bad thing is when it's generational, it becomes their norm, and that's what they see, that's what they know. And our lives are strange.
Right.
Because yeah. And it's sad.
And that's the biggest frustration.
Yeah.
There's not enough programs, to your point, of recognition.
Mhm.
They may exist.
Right.
Not anything like yours, but I'm just
Right.
saying any of these programs where that family is in this minded silo that they don't realize they can
Yeah.
get. There's people there to help
Right.
until somebody
Right.
reaches out or trips in a situation and
Right.
says, "Hey, but there's something like
Mhm.
Zion Girls to
Right.
really help your
Yeah.
daughter."
Yeah. And what's sad for me is we know the prison population is primarily African Americans.
Mhm.
That's not the population of Zion Girls. The majority of our girls are not African American.
Really?
Really.
So what ethnicity are they?
They are,
Or mixed?
yeah, everything else. I have 2 out of our 7 girls. I have 2 that are African American.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that goes back to we don't want anyone in our, that knows our family secret. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
so,
it's really just a matter of what race is comfortable that
Right.
shows up at the time for the
Right.
services that you can
Yeah.
handle.
and they see the value, they see the necessity, and they want their daughter to be a participant.
Yeah.
And I completely understand because I'm my age and my mother still struggles.
I'm glad you said that though, because I think it portends something in the opportunity for the organization. Because what will happen is those 2 of 7
Mm-hmm.
then speak out
Right.
and share, and the next
Right.
thing you know, it's 3 or
Yes.
4,
Yes.
and ideally you grow with
yes.
multiple ethnicities for sure.
Yes.
But as
And that's why the logo looks like that.
I saw that, which is, by the way, that's the only logo that's ever filled the bottom of our screen on the entry,
Yeah.
invite when you come
Yeah.
into the studio. So let's take a minute to go a little bit beyond the mission.
Yes.
Your organization is very not only purpose, but it is you. It's something that you have experienced.
Mhm.
So we're seeing it from that perspective. We're seeing and hearing Dawn from the incarcerated parent side of things. But there's another Dawn.
Yeah.
There's the Dawn that's not involved with the day-to-day of the organization, who has another life, which is the outside life, the not
Mhm.
weight of the girls on her shoulder all the
Right,
time
yeah.
life. And this is where we have a little bit of fun for letting
Okay.
the organization
Okay.
share and the people hear from
Okay.
within the organization what Dawn's about,
Oof.
but also for the people who are interested in considering an opportunity to donate. They like to know
Yes.
that you're a real person too.
I'm a real person.
Yeah.
So speaking of, with the database from Prison Fellowship,
Yes.
I was mailing brochures, I was emailing, I was texting, everything. And I know that I get a lot of junk email. And I said, I need to probably call these people and fully introduce myself and who I am so that they know that I'm a real person and this is a real organization. And so there was some hesitation from other people that I was having to reach out on my behalf. And they said, we're cold calling. And I said, yes, but no. And so we reached out to these families, and they were thrilled, not only that I was a real person, but that somebody thought enough of them to say, hey, let me call them and and passionately invite them into the program. And so I'm looking to expand greatly just by the phone calls.
Think about that. Who
Yeah.
calls anymore?
Who calls
Half the
anymore?
people don't want to call because they don't
Right.
want to talk to somebody. They want
Right.
to text it. They
Yeah.
want to email it. They don't want to
Yes.
touch a person's,
Yeah.
literally, physically, and have to
Right.
talk about something like
Yeah.
that.
And some of the conversations were 5 minutes. And I talked to one woman almost 15 minutes because she said, nobody's done this. And she broke down, started crying. And she says, stepfather's in prison, and their biological father was in prison and has passed away.
Mm.
So there's no more fathers. And I don't know what to do. And I said, okay, let's talk about it. Let's just talk about it. I'm your friend. What do you need to talk about? I said, how can I help you? And she said, nobody's asked me that. And she just started crying. And I said, you have my number. You call me. If you need to vent, if you need to tell me how your day went, good or bad, you call me.
And is her daughter in the program yet?
She will be.
Okay.
Both daughters.
Oh, two.
Two
Okay.
daughters, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this. We're going to
Yes.
go a bit beyond the emission for a minute here.
Okay.
Early bird or night owl?
Both.
Well,
Both.
so no
I'm-
sleep.
Yeah, little sleep. I'm usually up 6-ish for sure, 5:30-ish, 6-ish. But I go to bed probably close to midnight.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you're
yeah.
both ends of the day.
Yes.
How about favorite place to escape, even if it's just for a moment?
My kitchen.
Oh, good. So you like to cook.
I do.
All
And I
right.
like to cook for big parties.
Even better.
Yeah. I can make reservations for me and my daughters, but I love the Christmas big parties and the Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay. What song, artist, or playlist instantly puts you in a good mood? It's a fun one, isn't it?
That's so preparing for Fast Pitch, I had one song on that entire time. And the artist is Tasha Cobb. She's a gospel artist. And the song is I'm Getting Ready.
Great title. I don't know the song, but
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to it after the
Yeah.
fact just to hear it
Yeah.
because I'm getting ready.
I'm getting ready. Yeah.
How about guilty pleasure?
Well, do we have enough time? Guilty pleasure, shoe shopping.
Okay, you got it, folks. Shoe shopping.
Shoe shopping.
Okay, what fills your cup when it's empty?
Wow, these are big questions. What feel like I would say prayer.
I heard that faith in
Mhm.
a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Who believed in you at a pivotal moment?
My daughters.
Perfect.
My daughters. Yeah. My oldest daughter, she's a dancer. She's she's my cheerleader. They both are.
Contemporary ballet, what type?
She's ballroom certified.
Oh my gosh.
So, right?
Really?
She's ballroom certified. She's also did 2 NFL teams, 2 NBA teams. She loves it. She's trying to teach me how to waltz, but I kept forgetting to breathe.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, she says, "Mommy, you have to breathe." But yeah, my girls are my cheerleaders. Yeah, they were at Fast Pitch making the most noise.
That's perfect, though. That's perfect. What do you hope people feel after spending some time with you or the organization?
Encouraged.
And then what would your friends say you're best known for?
Oh, So my high school friends would say that I am best known for my sense of humor and my quick wit. My friends that are immediate with me now would say I'm best known for prayer. I will pray for anybody at any given time.
Boy, and I'm sure a lot of those people appreciate that. Your girls' parents,
Yeah,
your girls' families.
yeah,
And I don't mean your girls, your daughters. I
yeah.
mean your Zion girls.
Yes, yes, and that's I shared this rule. Excuse me. I share this rule that I have. Um, don't mess with my food, my money, or my girls.
Well, you
And
should be your shoes too.
my
Don't you
shoes
dare
too.
touch those shoes.
But now I said instead of my two daughters, I have Zion girls, and so those are my girls too. So yeah, but
You know, that family's going to grow. Your
Yeah.
daughters
Yeah.
are going to be
yeah, and
plentiful over the course of
my
time.
oldest, she wants to create a dance team and take them to competition, and I
Sure.
said, oh, go ahead.
So for the Zion girls of interest
Yeah.
who want to do something like that,
Yeah.
you've got that access too.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
there's a lot of healing in dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of therapy. So I told her, well, knock yourself out. Do it.
But that's your project, girl,
Yeah, yes.
not mine.
Yes.
I love it.
yes.
How can the community support the organization if they're interested in learning more about it, donating?
Well, finance is always good. In-kind gifts are always good. Yeah.
And I'm thinking more, where do they go?
Go to the
The
website.
website? Okay.
Website is the best place. ZionGirls.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll put that in the show notes too, so it's easy
Yes.
so I don't have to remember.
Yes.
Although that's probably one of the easiest we've got. It's 4 letters, Zion, Z-I-O-N.
ZionGirls.org.
And girls,
Yeah.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
So pretty simple.
Yeah. And people are funny. It says, so is this a real nonprofit? Yes. We have been vetted by the IRS and the Department of Justice and the FBI because we work with
Oh,
minors.
yes.
Yes. So I have been vetted by everybody.
Yeah, I thought you were kidding when you were saying FBI. No,
No,
but you are
but
because of the minor
Yeah.
element of it all.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even have thought of that.
Mhm.
You know, and then of course the 501c3 status. So yes,
Right.
yes, yes to all of the
that.
above.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're real.
Well, and that gets back to your point of recognition.
Yes.
You're new. They haven't heard about it. They don't know what this
Yeah.
is. You know,
Yeah.
they just. So I can see that
Yeah.
question, especially if somebody's going to give you their daughter,
Right.
you know, to work with, and
Yeah.
spend time with, and
And so, yeah. So all of the mentors, all of the board members are live scan fingerprinted, as well as we take the mandated reporter testing. In the event that something goes wrong, then we are mandated to report incidences.
well, there you go. Not to worry. You go
Yeah.
to Zion Girls. Everything's
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
solid. Don't the
Don't-
questions have all
yeah.
been vetted and
All of that.
answered.
Yeah.
Well
Because
done.
I say that I'm the daughter of an incarcerated parent, but I don't want to be the incarcerated parent.
No.
So,
Yeah, right?
yeah,
No, well, not in any way. And it's important.
it's important. Yeah.
It is important. And again, that just comes from the novelty of the organization. People just, you're new.
Mhm.
You're something that's servicing a need
Mhm.
that hasn't really been serviced before.
Right.
It may have been a part of something else,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been the sole
Right.
focus
Right.
of girls with incarcerated parents.
Right. Because there's tons of mentoring programs,
Right.
but we're the only ones that's focused on that population.
Right. And they're not going
Yeah.
to share that in another program when it's, girls with
Yeah.
families with both parents in the
Right.
household.
Right.
And surely there can be issues there too,
Hmm.
but not where one's already in jail.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the tough part.
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you on identifying a real niche,
Thank
because
you.
that's one that is a system of service that hasn't been served, hasn't been identified, probably neglected,
Right.
when it's much bigger than we think.
Yeah.
And you had a stat. I saw it in the presentation, I think, on the website.
1 in 36, or 36%. 36% of girls will follow in their parents' footsteps.
Yes.
Yeah.
So better than a third, of which we cannot afford
Right.
to have happen.
Right.
You know, that's no way to have the community improve
Right.
its situation.
Right. And so we're looking at partnering with Sacramento County Probation. We're trying to figure out how to bring the program into the detention facility.
Yeah.
To, eliminate repeat offenses and get those girls on the right track, even though they're, in the facility. Once they come out, they'll just transition right into our facility as well. So we're looking for some big partnerships, and yeah.
Well, you got a lot of growth ahead of you then.
Yeah.
And a lot of work to do, and hopefully this will be a bit of a catalyst to help you share the story and get it out to more and more people, from your volunteer team to you, to the girls who have had the courage to step into this new program where they have to share everything and talk about it for real.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you're doing,
Thank
because
you.
it is uniquely different, uniquely necessary, and I think we'll be wildly successful as we go along.
Wildly successful. I think I'll get a T-shirt made.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's go make something better.
Yes, let's go make something better.
Dawn, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Nonprofit Podcast Network. We hope today's episode inspired you and gave you a deeper look into the work of our local nonprofits. If you believe in our mission to amplify their voices, please take a moment to leave us a positive review and share this episode with a friend. It helps more people discover the incredible work happening in our community. Don't miss future episodes. Subscribe to our weekly updates and monthly newsletter at nonprofpod.com. And if you're a part of a nonprofit that would like to be featured, we'd love to hear from you. Just visit the Guest tab on our website. The Nonprofit Podcast Network is recorded and produced at Hear Me Now Studio with generous support from our partners, CapTrust, fiduciary advice for endowments and foundations, online at captrust.com. Western Health Advantage, local care with community impact. Find the plan that fits at westernhealth.com. CORE, executive leadership and comprehensive support services. Visit cxore.com. And 5 Star Bank, a local trusted advisor to community nonprofits for over 25 years. 5starbank.com. And finally, our episode sponsor, Sacramento Venture Philanthropy, a community of generosity combining people, expertise, and capital for good. svpsacramento.org.